On Thanksgiving, after you feast on turkey and all the fixings, you want to make sure you save room for the most important part of the meal. That is, of course, dessert. Betty Ann Donegan and Stephanie Dietz are back to share their recipe for pumpkin mascarpone pie. Ladies, I'm so happy you both are here.
We're happy to be here.
This will be fun. Have you been having this pie your whole life? Have you guys been making it a while?
Not quite.
No, not exactly.
Not exactly?
No, a few years ago, I was talking to her sister where she goes for Thanksgiving, and I said, oh, do you want my mom to bring her pumpkin pie? And she said, oh no, her pumpkin pie tastes like cold cream.
Oh my gosh! I'm shocked to hear that.
And this was right out of the Betty Crocker cookbook from when I was a kid, this pie. I had no idea.
So
what was wrong with it? Did you ever determine
it was very bland.
So you doctored it up a little bit.
So I changed the recipe completely, and I use mascarpone, which everybody in my family loves, and I love to work with mascarpone. And now it's
way better.
Now the classic. Well, how do we get started?
Okay. I have the. I'm sorry. I have the flour in here because it was so hot in here.
Well, the lights probably don't help much.
So what I have in here is some Crisco and some Wondra flour. I use Wondra flour because it has very, very little protein in it.
All right, so we're making the crust over
I'm making the crust, yeah. And I'm going to put some ice water in. You see there's ice in this. So when you make a crust, it's best to keep it cold as possible. I don't like to use a Cuisinart and then make the dough get warm and then have to chill it. It takes a lot of time. But if you keep everything cold and you keep the water icy, then you can just roll the dough out immediately. And it saves tremendous amount of time.
Okay.
While I'm doing this, Steph is going to make the filling.
Right, so what I have in here is some pure pumpkin puree and the mascarpone. And then we've got some spices, cinnamon, cloves, ginger, some brown sugar, some eggs, and a little bit of vanilla that I'm going to put in here. So I'm just going to mix this together. This takes a little bit. You can also do this on the machine if, you know, like on a KitchenAid if you want to.
Now, Steph, you have a big crowd coming over for Thanksgiving?
I do. I have 20, yeah.
Oh, wow.
Which is a lot, but she helps me a lot, so it's
Moms are
it's
hopeful,
good.
aren't they?
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
They definitely are.
Well, I make a lot of pies for a lot of people.
How many pies do you make for Thanksgiving?
I'll probably make about 15 this year.
Oh, my goodness. What is your favorite?
I don't know.
They're all your babies, aren't they? You love them all.
I have to tell you, pies. I love to make pies. I love pies are my favorite dessert to make. Puff pastry and pies are my favorite desserts. But I do like pumpkin. I do like pumpkin, and pumpkin is the easiest of all pies. You know, pumpkin is the second most favorite pie in the United States. Did you know that?
No, I didn't realize that.
Apple's the first, but pumpkin is second. So here I have the dough. It all came together very quickly with the cold water. I'm just going to roll this out. Now, this is a little bit more than I need, because I'm going to do some cutouts too. See the cutouts that I have here?
Look at how beautiful these are, these leaves.
Yeah, and that's done with a cutter that has a mark on the inside of it. You can't really do that with a knife. You need a special cutter.
A little cookie cutter, okay.
So I'm going to roll this out. Now I'm using this cloth and this board because this keeps the flour, it keeps the dough not getting too dry. Now, if this looks like a map of the United States, watch how easily I can fix this.
I was going to say,
now watch.
There you go.
Because there's not a lot of flour, you see how I can patch
it goes right
this?
into
Yeah,
it.
it patches
That's
nicely.
great.
Yeah.
This doesn't seem like an intimidating crust. Usually making your own pie crust is
Well,
tricky.
it doesn't have to be. It's the flour. The flour makes all the difference in the world. This is Wondra flour. You can see I have the container there. I'm just going to trim this up a little bit. And these are my scraps that I'm going to make the cutouts with.
Okay.
We also brought these two different cans to show you because the pumpkin pie filling and the pure pumpkin pie looks very similar. You want to make sure that you only get the pure pumpkin puree.
Well, this one, is the pie already done for you? Can you just...
Yeah, no, you don't
Not
want to
so
use that,
good,
no.
okay.
Well, you have to, it has spices in it. It's got sugar in it. But the problem is if you buy that, then you don't realize it has the spices
Oh, then
and
you
the sugar.
add it and then it's way too sweet.
Way too sweet,
Okay.
yeah. Okay, so now I'm gonna fold this in, and I'm gonna make a flute.
Now, why are you folding in?
Well, this pie is a custard-based pie. It means the eggs are going to hold it together. So when this cooks, the eggs are going to puff, and when it puffs, that's called the souffle effect. It's going to put pressure on the edge of the crust.
Okay.
So if this puffs and you have rolled it out, this crust could snap off.
I see.
So doing it this way, well, that won't happen. So I'm just folding it towards the center. You see. Now, if I need a little bit if I have a little bit, you know, if it's a little bit less, I'll just take a little scrap, and I'll fix it. I'm just going to make a very, very, very simple flute on this.
Okay, and how's the filling coming?
All set.
This
Pretty
is
easy.
It's
Really
the easiest. Pumpkin pie is the easiest, quickest pie in the world to make. There's nothing simpler than a pumpkin pie.
You guys have the oven preheated?
Yep.
350. And this is going to cook. Now we're using a glass dish. Very important for a custard-based pie, because if you use a metal dish, the bottom won't cook.
Okay.
Now, if you pre-bake the crust for 10 minutes, because you have to prick holes in it, when you do that, then of course, when you put the liquid filling in, it leaks through the holes and goes underneath and makes the pie stick to the dish. So all of these little tricks, the glass dishes,
That helps.
a lot.
All right, we
lot.
have about 45 seconds left. I know this is record time for making the pie for you, but it's coming together very nicely.
She can flute faster
I can
than anybody ever
flute
known.
faster than. Okay, so we're going to fill this.
Okay. And while we're filling the pie, Steph, you want to tell us about the upcoming event, the holiday shopping?
Oh, yes. So on December 14th at the Pine Orchard Club, we're having a holiday shopping expo where we have all sorts of different vendors. My mom and my sister plan this every year, and it's going to benefit BH Care, which supports people in domestic violence situations.
Very good. I understand there's some fabulous gifts.
We have some wonderful raffles. We have a trip to Umbria for 2 that we're going to raffle off. You have to be there to buy a ticket. Everything you have to be there to buy a ticket.
Okay.
So this,
Now, this is so it doesn't burn the crust?
This is so the crust doesn't burn. This is a piece of foil. I just wrapped it around, and I have a little paper clip here, and I'm just going to fold it in a little bit. So this gets popped into the oven, and then when it's done, then we'll place some
Beautiful.
leaves on top.
Fantastic. Ladies, this is great. I hope you both have a wonderful Thanksgiving. We're going to have the recipe on our website, WTNH.com. And of course, we're going to dig in at the end of the show.